Welcome to Lifestyle Alchemy. I'm Sydney, medical astrologer, energetic alchemist, and transformation expert. In this podcast, I share what I'm actually living and learning. Sometimes that's decoding my birth chart. Sometimes it's rewiring and regulating my nervous system. Sometimes it's just real talk about what's working and what's not. This show goes beyond astrology. You'll hear about health and wellness, mindset and energy work, manifestation, spirituality, and all the things that help us actually embody who we're meant to be. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to Lifestyle Alchemy. I have an actually insane story to share with you today, and this just goes to show how the woo-woo is just so legit. Like, I don't know how else to say it. If you are someone who kind of discounts the woo-woo and you're like, no, science all the way, blah, 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 I don't trust woo-woo, you're going to want to listen to this because I cannot make this shit up. Like, it is so crazy. And it's real and it works. And this is an actual thing that literally just happened to Cory, but also because it happened to Cory, it kind of happened to me too, because he's my partner and I live with him. So, all right, let's get into it. Okay. So a week ago, today is Wednesday when I'm recording this. So literally 1 week ago, every single Wednesday, Cory goes to work. He has to do inventory and he goes to work at he gets there at 5 a.m. So he leaves our house before 5 a.m. So I'm obviously not awake. So he gives me a kiss, but I'm asleep. So he texted me last Wednesday morning and he was like, hey, I had a horrible, really, really rough night last night. I only got probably about 2 hours of sleep. I was in extreme pain, stomach pain. And it was really, really severe. And I didn't know what was going on. And this is TMI and gross, but he said that he had tried to make himself throw up because he thought that would make it better. And it really didn't. And so he was just having a real bad time, but he still got up and went to work because, he is nothing if not someone with a really great work ethic. So, but anyway, so I was like, oh my God. First of all, my first thought is how in the hell did I not wake up through any of this? Obviously he was in and out of bed. He was tossing and turning because he was in so much pain. And I am just none the wiser. I'm just over there in my REM, I guess, just sleeping. And I remember specifically that night I just slept so good and didn't wake up at all, obviously. So I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe that. I wonder if you just had you ate something that didn't agree with you, or you had, a stomach bug, or you had E. coli or something, crazy. But then I'm also I don't know. I feel anytime I've ever had a stomach bug or food poisoning or something, usually I'm throwing up and going to the bathroom like crazy. Your body is trying to get it out. And that really wasn't what was happening for him. And so it was just the pain. So I'm that's so odd. But it kind of got a little bit better on last Wednesday, and he was feeling a little better. He said he still had a low grade cramping. It never fully went away, but it just lessened in its intensity, and he was able to do his work and do his normal stuff. So I'm okay, well, let's just, I guess, see, if it happens again, or if you can try to figure out what triggered it, or was it a specific food? And the thing is, the night before he had eaten a random breakfast for dinner situation. He had eggs and toast. So it wasn't we had this crazy rich meal that would upset your stomach. Like it was just very basic, and he eats eggs and toast literally all the time. So it would have been very weird if he got sick from that. But sometimes, eggs get recalled because they have salmonella or, some kind of a bacteria. So I was like, well, shit, maybe it was that. So anyway, we're just like, okay, basically we have to wait it out, see if it goes away. And since it had gotten a little better, I was like, well, yeah, it must have just been a weird thing. And Cory, keep in mind, Cory does have a sensitive stomach. So he poor guy, we can eat the same thing and he will have issues and I won't usually. And I thought I had sensitive digestion, but Cory is a whole nother level. I'm usually not the one that is having a stronger stomach, but in this case, I am. So love that for me. Okay, so a few days pass and he is doing better, but it's still this constant low-grade cramping. It's not preventing him from going to work and doing his normal daily stuff, but it is still there. It has never gone away. And so we're like, okay, what the heck is this? What is going on? And so, but I'm still not at the point where I'm too worried. I'm at this point, I'm okay, maybe it's a food intolerance, maybe you need to go gluten-free. Maybe it's something your body has just decided that you are done eating gluten or dairy or something, and so I'm just kind of trying to use the process of elimination. I'm like, okay, well, what does the pain feel like? And when does it get worse? And what does it feel like when you do this? Or what does it feel like when your stomach is full versus when your stomach is empty? I'm asking all the questions. I'm, Dr. Sydney over here. And so he's answering, but he's just not he's in touch with his body, but not as much as me. So I feel his description it was a description, but I was like, okay, can we get more here? Can I have some more info? I had found this supplement that was supposed, I don't even remember what it was or what it was called or what was in it, but initially I had found it somehow and I was like, this couldn't hurt. So he ordered that and it was delivered very quickly. And so he started taking that and that did help his digestion, but not the cramping, which his digestion is always kind of all over the place. So something in that supplement helped him. But again, his digestion was not the issue. It was just kind of separate from the pain. So, okay. So a few days go by, he still has the low grade cramping, but he's still doing regular stuff. He even worked out one night, which I kind of was I don't know if that's the best idea, but okay, sure. You do you. And so then on Sunday night, he's still not feeling amazing, but we had our anniversary dinner, which our anniversary was yesterday, Tuesday, the 28th, but we had reservations at this really nice bougie place called Maple and Ash in Scottsdale. And we had reservations for Sunday night because he was off on Monday. And it was okay, well, we'd rather do that on a night when he doesn't have to get up and go to work at 5 a.m. the next morning like he would have had to do if we went to dinner on Tuesday night on our actual anniversary. So we go to Maple and Ash and we go all out. Whenever you go to a steakhouse or just a really nice restaurant, you're probably going to splurge. You're going to eat the greasier food. There, obviously, anytime you go to a restaurant, food is cooked in butter, oil. It's you can't really control. I mean, I guess you could ask hey, can you not do that? But we definitely didn't do that. So, so I got surf and turf. I got a filet, and lobster, and he got lamb, a rack of lamb. And it had a chimichurri. We got potatoes au gratin and sauteed mushrooms. And he also had ice cream after, which I did not because I was so full, but he had ice cream. And Cory doesn't do so well with dairy, with ice cream specifically. So I was like already kind of like, I don't know if you really use your head on this one. Like, I feel like you're already not feeling amazing, and then you made these kind of food choices, especially the ice cream. Like, I feel like that's a recipe for disaster here, but okay, we'll see. And sure enough, on Sunday night, overnight, he had another severely painful night. And so at this point, I'm like, I bet it's your gallbladder, because it's acting up really, really, really bad whenever, and it's cramping whenever you have like a really rich, fatty meal. And the eggs in the toast wasn't like rich, but obviously like eggs are high in fat, and he cooked the eggs in butter, and then he buttered the toast. So I'm like, if your gallbladder is kind of at its capacity and it's clogged up, or it has sludge, or you have stones or something, like it doesn't have to be something crazy to push you over the edge. And so that's what is making the most sense to me. And I have had that happen to me before. Whenever I was like 20, I had a gallbladder attack, and it felt exactly like what he was describing, like pain in the upper mid area of the abdomen. And it just kind of like radiates outward, and it's like severe cramping, but not necessarily accompanied by like diarrhea or throwing up or anything. Like, you might be nauseous because the pain is so bad, but you're not nauseous because you like actually need to throw up because of what's going on. So I'm like, it's gotta be, I really, really bet that it's your gallbladder, and you need to we need to get you in to see somebody and, see what, if you need to have, like, hopefully you don't need to have surgery, but like in some cases that is what needs to happen. If you've got a gallstone clogging up your duct of your gallbladder or your liver or something, like, that's really serious, and you can get like really, really sick from that. And potentially, like, if you don't catch it, like, it could turn into a sepsis situation. So I was like, we don't want to play with this. So, and it's also, I know it's really hard to get diagnosed with gallbladder issues, because so many of the tests, like, and even just getting like an ultrasound or a CAT scan or something, it doesn't usually show, like sludge or stones in your gallbladder, which you would think it would, but it actually usually doesn't. There's only like one test, which I can't remember what it's called, but there's only like one test that can confirm, but even that is not like 100%. So I'm like, well, I don't know, like, it sounds like this, but, and I really want to get in somewhere, but I would love it if we could get into a naturopath, just so I feel like they just listen to you more typically, and their approach is just obviously more root cause and holistic versus like, let's just stick a medication on it. And so I was like looking up naturopaths in the area that could get him in like quickly, and I found one. And so he made an appointment for Thursday, which is tomorrow. And so I was like, okay, I mean, that's good. It's not great, because we still had, at this point, it's Monday at this point. And I'm like, okay, that's still 4 days away. Like, that's not great because you're in pain. But like, okay, if that's as good as we can get, okay. So he booked that appointment. But in the meantime, I'm like, you've got to stop eating anything with like a significant amount of fat in it. Like, we just need to eliminate that possible trigger, and you just need to eat like really bland, easy to digest foods, like the brat diet, like bananas, rice, apples, and toast, dry toast. And just, drink some bone broth. Don't drink your black coffee like you always do. Just herbal tea, bone broth, like really plain, easy to digest foods. And don't eat like a lot, because it seems like whenever his stomach was like full, it also was not good. So he's doing that. He went to Sprouts and like got a bunch of stuff that, because normally we eat like a lot of animal protein, and we use grass-fed butter, and all of that. And so he's like, okay, I need to go get some like berries and I need to get some bone broth and like just some extra stuff. And so he does that, but he's still not feeling good. And so I am like, okay, you know what? Whenever I was going through this gallbladder issue, like 13 years ago, I was literally like, I think I was 20. I did a liver and gallbladder cleanse, and it was like a 3-week long thing. So it was not an overnight fix by any means, but it worked. It did exactly what I needed it to do. And I have never had another issue since then. And at that same time is also whenever I discovered that I needed to go gluten-free. So like that was a part of it, but there's a major link between gluten intolerance and gallbladder issues. So at that time I figured that out. I was like, okay, I had a gallbladder attack. I'm going to try going gluten-free to see if that like helps it. I did the gallbladder cleanse to flush out what was already in there. And again, I have never had another issue like that since, thank God, because that was so painful. So I am like remembering this cleanse, but I don't remember exactly what all I had to do. Like it was 3 weeks. I remember it was like the same thing for a week, and then I had to add something in the next week and then add something in the next week. And then on the last day was whenever like it all went down and stuff came out. And so I was like, I remember parts of it, but I don't remember exactly like what it was. So I'm like, is there any way I like took a picture of it? Cause it was a physical printout, but I'm like, maybe I took a picture of it, or maybe at some point I sent it to someone else. So maybe it's on my laptop or something, but no, I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I'm like looking online, I'm Googling, I'm like gallbladder cleanse, and I can't find, like, I find things that are similar, but I can't find anything that I'm like, yes, this is it. And so I texted my mom and I was like, hey, is there any way you still have a copy of that gallbladder cleanse that I did all those years ago? And she's like, no. But the person that I had gotten the cleanse from was my family's chiropractor, who is a actual miracle worker. Like, this man has been working miracles on my entire family that lives there in Oklahoma since I was like born. And he is incredible. He is woo woo. And like for the longest time, we had no idea like what he was actually doing or how he knew what he knew about like our bodies. 'Cause he communicates with your body. He does it through muscle testing. And so now muscle testing is very, much more recognized and accepted now. But like back then we were like, what the fuck is he doing? But it didn't matter. Like none of us cared. It was like, do your thing. I don't care how weird it is or how weird it looks. It works, and you always know what's wrong and you always fix it. And so he also doesn't do like popping. He'll pop you if he absolutely has to, but he uses this tool called an activator, which is much more precise and much more gentle. So you're not like getting cracked and twisted and like manipulated in all these ways. That some people really hate getting popped in general just because it scares them. But the activator is just so much more precise. So he communicates with your body through muscle testing, and then he adjusts you using the activator. So two kind of more unique things about him. So literally when I was growing up, if like we weren't feeling good, unless it was like an obvious cold or like a stomach virus or something, like if we weren't feeling good, we didn't go to the doctor. We went to Dr. Dye, which that's who the chiropractor is. His name is Dr. Dye. And if you're in Oklahoma, in like Claremore, Oklahoma, go to Dr. Dye. I swear, like he is incredible. He can fix like just about anything. So and he also is really big on like recommending supplements and like just natural protocols. Like he's not just about like aligning your body, like he'll do that, but he also like helps you in other ways too. So that's why whenever I was having issues all those years ago and I was not having luck with Western medicine. I was doing all these tests and everything was coming back normal and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, but I was so sick. I went to him and he was like, gallbladder. Like instantly he knew it was my gallbladder. And so he gave me this cleanse and like I said, it solved it. So along with going gluten-free. So I am like, my mom still lives there. My parents still live there in Oklahoma. And so she's like, I don't have the cleanse, but I can go to his office and I can see if he has it still. Like, you know, it's been a long time, but maybe he still uses that for his patients. So I'm like, oh my God, yes, please. Could you do that? So she's like, yeah. So she texts him and he's like, yeah, come by and grab it. So she goes by. And she tells him like what's going on and who it's for and what the symptoms are. And he remote muscle tested Cory from his office and was like, while my mom is standing right there. And he's like, it's not his gallbladder. Like, here's the cleanse, but he doesn't need this. It's not his gallbladder. It's his L2 in his spine. And it's locked up and it's causing all of this pain and all of this cramping and everything. Now, mind you, on yesterday, because Monday was really bad, but then yesterday, he woke up and it was like severe, like worse, either the same, if not worse. And at this point, I'm scared. I'm getting scared because I'm like, okay, it's getting worse. It's getting to the point where it doesn't even matter if he's eaten food or not. It's severely painful. I can see that he's not okay. It was even to the point where he was having pain just from like anytime he had to use his core muscles. So like anytime you sit down or stand up, or if you're laying down and then you're getting up out of bed, or, you know, like whenever he would like bend over. He's really tall, so he's got to bend over a lot. Like, so he was like wincing anytime he had to do that. And I was like, oh my God. And so I'm getting increasingly more scared. I'm like, oh my God, is something like really, really, really wrong? We've got to go to the ER. Like, we cannot just wait until Thursday when we go see the naturopath. We can't wait 3 weeks for you to feel the effects of doing this cleanse. Like, I'm taking you to the ER. We have to figure out what's wrong. Like, we just can't risk it. And he was in so much pain that he actually was like, he didn't want to go to the ER, but he was willing to go to the ER. Like, he had agreed to it. So I had something that I like needed to do. So I'm doing that. And I'm like, as soon as I'm finished with this, we're going to the ER. Okay. So in the meantime, my mom texts me and she sends me a picture. She's like, here's the gallbladder cleanse, but Dr. Dye said that's not what he needs. It's his L2 in his spine is locked up and you guys need to find a chiropractor there. And Dr. Dye like did a Google search and he found 2 different chiropractors in our area that like use the activator and that use his same like method. They don't do the muscle testing, but they do the same like adjustment method that he uses. And they're both like very highly rated. And so like you need to try and see if they can get him in today, you know? So we're like, okay, like that's so crazy. I never would have thought that like just one little part of your spine being out of whack or being locked up could cause all of that. But like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's like not scary. Now I'm not scared anymore because that's easily fixable and we can absolutely do that. And so we called, there were 2, like I said, he found 2. We picked one, called them first. It was like the closest one to us. And they got Cory and they squeezed him in. The doctor stayed a little bit late for him because they close at 1, I guess, on Tuesdays. And so they got him in very, very quickly. And he gets there and the doctor is like checking him out. And he's like, sure enough, like Cory tells him the story, obviously. And he's like, sure enough, like, yeah, he was right. Your L2 was fucked, basically. He didn't say that, but he was like, yeah, your L2 was messed up. And so he adjusts him and he's like, yeah, I mean, it's probably going to take a couple days for you to like really feel better, but I mean, obviously if it gets worse or if your symptoms continue, like you need to go see someone else. But like, yeah, I fixed your L2. So Cory comes home and he's like, I'm already feeling a little bit better. Like it's not 100% better, but I already feel a difference. And I'm like, amazing. This is so crazy. And so we go through the rest of the day yesterday. He's able to eat like normal amounts of food and he's okay. He's feeling sore because if you've ever had like a chiropractic adjustment, oftentimes you feel sore afterward because especially if you've if whatever is wrong or whatever is misaligned or locked up, if it's been like that for a while, your muscles and your fascia form around that. And so whenever that becomes changed or it's undone and it's fixed, now your muscles and your fascia have to readjust, and then you can feel some soreness from that. And so he was feeling that, but he's like, I'll deal with that. Like I can tolerate a little bit of muscle soreness if it means that I don't have this severe stomach cramping, which also, I didn't mention this, but as soon as my mom said that, he was like chat GPTing like symptoms of a locked up L2. And sure enough, you guys, it said severe abdominal cramping. And I was just like, that's crazy. Because I just like, who would have thought that if your spine just had one little link messed up, it could put you in so much pain in your fucking stomach? Like, that's crazy to me. So anyway, yeah. So this morning he wakes up, he goes to work. Then I wake up a few hours later and I text him and I'm like, hey, how are you feeling? And he's like, I literally feel so much better. Like not quite 100% yet, but I am night and day so much better. And so we are confident that that was the issue. It is not something serious. It's not his gallbladder, even though he was like, I still kind of low key want to do that gallbladder and liver cleanse because like, why not? Like it can't hurt. We all need a good flush sometimes to get toxins or sludge or anything like out of your body. So he might still do that, but like not because he has to, just because he wants to. So that's the story, you guys. That is the crazy story of how you should not ever discount the woo-woo, because if we had gone to the ER or if we had even gone to the naturopath, I mean, I am all for naturopaths, not the one that I used to go to. Obviously, I've talked about that, but I am all for naturopaths. Typically, they do listen to you more. They get to the root cause more. That is typically their whole thing, is not just putting a Band-Aid on it. But like muscle testing is something that not a lot of medical professionals do. It's kind of viewed as more of like still a little woo-woo. Like it's accepted and it's recognized. Probably more so in the chiropractic field than anything else. Or if you ever heard of like the emotion code or the body code, like that is something that is really, really cool. And it uses muscle testing to release trapped emotions from your body. Look into that if you haven't already. It's so cool. But anyway, a lot of chiropractors offer that, and it's really, and just regular people, you can get certified in it too. You don't have to be like a chiropractor or any kind of doctor. But anyway, so what I'm saying is if we had gone to a urgent care, ER, regular doctor, general physician, or even just the naturopath, like we would still be not knowing what's wrong. And even if we had just gone to a regular chiropractor that just does the popping method, we still probably wouldn't know what's wrong, because they just go through the same like popping sequence technique where they just pop all the same places. And I'm not going to say that that is bad for you, but it's not as precise. It's not like, hey, I'm checking you out and I'm seeing exactly what is wrong with you. And so in this case, like, it's just so crazy, like telling the story. I've told this story a few times now, and I'm like, it just gets crazier every time I tell it, because I'm like, that's insane that somebody in Oklahoma who has never met Cory, never talked to Cory, never seen Cory, was able to remote muscle test him and figure out what was wrong and what was causing his issue. That's crazy, but it's so cool. And I believe in all of it. I obviously trust Dr. Dye, like with my life. I already did, but like now I do even more. I'm like, can you do a remote just muscle testing on me just to see like what do I need? And he probably would do it because he's been seeing my family for years and years and years and years. And just, I don't know what they're going to do whenever he retires. So anyway, that's just, again, my encouragement. I know I've said this before, but we have to be our own advocates when it comes to health. We have to be somewhat educated on first of all, we have to be aware of our bodies. We have to have body awareness. We have to know when something out of the norm is happening to us. We have to be able to describe it accurately. We have to be able to do our own research and to kind of reconcile that with what you know you're experiencing. Because I've had this happen to me so fucking many times where I've been experiencing something. I know something is not right. And I go to the doctor and I say, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what, can you test me for this? Can you test me for this? And then I get written off because what happened to me whenever I was having the gallbladder issues is I went to my doctor and I already had done the research and I said, hey, I think it's either gallbladder or my pancreas, like pancreatitis. So can you test me for those? And he's like, I don't think it's pancreatitis. And I also don't think it's your gallbladder because you're too young. And because at that point, like I said, I was like 20. He's like, I'd be really shocked if that's what it was. You're really just too young for that. So what did he do? He tests me for a bunch of other things. He tests me for H. pylori. He tests me for, I don't even know what else, like just several other things. I did like a shit ton of blood tests and I did a stool test. Every single fucking thing came back normal. And at that point, he called me back and he was like, okay, I think you may be onto something. I think it might be your gallbladder. Let's do an ultrasound. And by that point, I was already I had already done the cleanse, or I was like about to finish the cleanse, and I had gone gluten-free, and I was like, I'm already good now. Like, but thank you for confirming what I already knew and what I already came here and told you the fucking first time I saw you. So cool. So you just, I hate that it's this way. I hate that we can't just go to any medical professional and just trust that they're going to be able to figure out and solve the puzzle for you. But that's just not typically how it is. You have to be your advocate. You have to have some level of awareness. You have to do your research and you have to fucking fight for yourself to get the answers that you need. And sometimes you have to get resourceful. Like sometimes you have to find somebody who can do muscle testing on you, or who can, go a totally alternative woo-woo route that you would never think, like, okay, I'm having stomach pain. You wouldn't necessarily think, okay, let me try a chiropractor. But like, sometimes you have to think outside of the box and you have to be like, okay, let me look somewhere else, because not always are you going to be able to get the answers from a Western medicine or from like a whole, all these testing and imaging and panels and everything that they would do at like the ER, for instance. And I'm just so thankful that we got that answer just in the nick of time, right before I was going to take him to the ER, because had we gone to the ER, guys, we would have thousands of dollars in medical bills, even though he has health insurance. It's not cheap to go to the ER. And we would have had to been sitting there waiting for probably hours because he wasn't like bleeding out or anything. And they wouldn't have been able to find out what was wrong, because obviously they're not going to look at his spine. Like, that's not what they would be testing for him, according to like his symptoms. And we would still be super confused. I would be even more scared, I'm sure, because if they, it's so scary whenever you are like, okay, I'm going to the experts and I am sick, I am miserable, I'm not feeling good, and they can't figure out what's wrong with me. That's scary. And that's scary not only for the person, but it's scary for the people, the spouse, the partner, the people that live with you. So anyway, I am just so incredibly overwhelmingly grateful for Dr. Dye and for my mom as well for going there and for helping us, and just for the woo woo. And I will always go to the woo woo first, if at all possible. Yeah, so this is just your encouragement and your sign to never discount the woo woo. It's just crazy. I literally couldn't make that up if I tried. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. And then also, I just wanted to remind you to get on the wait list for the reemergence protocol, because like I have been saying, it's launching soon. I am literally just so excited about it. I think it's going to be such a fun program for women to go through, to just like get their glow back, get their spark back after chronic illness or after postpartum, or just after a season of life where you're like, what happened? Why don't I recognize the person in the mirror anymore? I'm going to help you not only recognize the person in the mirror, but like be like taken aback by the person in the mirror, because you're like, holy shit, like I have never looked this good. I've never felt this good. We're going to like get you back better than ever. Not just like how you were before, but like better. So I'm really excited about that. And then also, I think I mentioned last week that Substack was like popping off, and it still is. So if you are not in on the Substack party with me, if you're not joined into my community on Substack, literally, what are you doing? If you want to learn about medical astrology, that is the place where I am like teaching. I talk about it here and there on the podcast, as you might know. But I like go into depth, like serious depth and detail on Substack, because I think it's just more digestible that way whenever you can see it written out and you don't just have to like try to remember it. Because obviously astrology is so incredibly detailed and we have so many placements to look at. And so when I write a post about like about autoimmune, like the astrology of autoimmunity, or if I write a post about the sun, like the role of the sun as it relates to your vitality through medical astrology. Like if I'm going through, here's all the sun signs and here's all the houses and here, like all of that, I like to do it in a written format, because then you can like just look at your placements if you don't want to read all of them, and you can, screenshot, take notes, whatever you want to do. Save the post, save the article so you can come back to it. I mean, I like write in detail protocols, recommendations, practices, rituals, all kinds of stuff on Substack. And that is, I do post a lot of free content. However, the premium content, which is like super chef's kiss, that is $8 a month, and I post multiple articles every week, so it's not like I just post once or twice and you're like, okay, cool. I post a lot, so you get lots of education. So definitely join over there. It's popping off. It's so fun. I think Substack is just such a wonderful community. Like, I just have had the most positive experience with my audience, and just with other people that I follow. And it's just such a different vibe from Instagram. Like, Instagram is cool. Like, I do like it for some things, but I feel like there's just also so much negativity and so much like keyboard warrior bullshit on there. And I have not one time seen any kind of trolling or like negative comments or criticism or anything like that on Substack. It's literally just like people appreciating other people's work and expertise. And if it's not for them, like, I assume they just scroll, because like I said, I haven't seen any negative comments on, not only on my stuff, but on anyone else's either. Like, people are just supportive there, and that's how it should be. Like, if you don't like something, just keep it moving. You don't have to say something about it always. You don't have to pick someone apart always, So, if you're not on Substack, but you like to read and you like to learn and you like kind of just more grounded, slower, long form content that is just full of value and substance and not just like quick hit dopamine, 30-second reels or whatever. Like if you're tired of that, I think you'll love Substack. There's so much good content on there and so many like wonderful creators sharing amazing information for like extremely low cost. So, yeah, join me over there. Link is in the show notes. The link for the Reemergence Protocol waitlist is also in the show notes. And also, as always, you can grab, if you are wanting like a deep dive into your birth chart from a medical astrology lens and you want your own protocol blueprint, you want to find out like what the hell does your chart mean for your health and like what kinds of things should you change to live in a way that is most in alignment with your chart, then you're going to want a health blueprint. And that is also in the show notes. Okay, that's all, friends. I will talk to you next Thursday. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.